My name's Shari Hauser.
How old are you?
That I'm not comfortable. Got you. Okay.
That's okay.
No, I can do it. I'm 46 years old.
And tell us about your daughter.
Oh, my daughter is 6 years old right now. She is the most amazing person ever that I've ever met. She laughs all the time. She's smart. She's funny. She is sweet. She has a little bit of a rebellious streak, and a little bit, my mother-in-law says she has the Dickens in her. So she's, you don't turn your back on her too long, but she's just a joy. She's just incredible.
How did you meet your daughter?
I met her on the floor of an orphanage in Taiwan when she was 3 months old.
Did you travel to Taiwan a lot? Or
No,
why were you in
no,
Taiwan?
my husband and I were in the middle of trying to have a baby and thinking about adopting because we had wanted to adopt as an option even if we had given birth to children. And we decided that we would apply to this orphanage directly in Taiwan that we were friends of friends knew about. So we filled out like a one-page application, and a couple years later they called us and said, "We have a little girl you wanted. Come get her." And so we did everything super fast. My husband's a force when he's determined, and 3 months old we got to fly to Taiwan and see her sleeping.
How did you feel when you first met her?
When I first saw my daughter, I saw her through a window, and my husband somehow got through this orphanage maze faster than I did, so I got to see him see her. And it was just one of those moments that was so amazing. It was surreal because she was so cute. She was 7 pounds at that time, so she was this big. She was 4.5 pounds when she was born. And I just had this most amazing feeling of love and just amazing feeling of love and connection and purpose. It was incredible.
Do you have any biological children?
I've had one miscarriage. Do I have any biological children? No, I have had one miscarriage.
Say it again. Be like, just say I don't have any biological children.
Okay, I don't have any biological children, but I did have a miscarriage.
How old were you when you had a miscarriage?
37?
Did you try to have babies after that?
Not too intentionally, no. No. By that point, I was to carry a life and to lose it is pretty stunning. For me, I didn't get over that quickly. That wasn't easy.
So, did you want to adopt after that?
I wanted to adopt before that, but I wanted to adopt even more after that. So, but there's also, in losing a life, there's also a hopelessness that I think you have to heal from.
What do you mean? Explain that.
When I lost my baby, I thought I couldn't see the end. I couldn't see having a child ever. So it took about 3 years when we got Skyla, to really realize that dream. But
Did you feel an emptiness after the miscarriage?
after the miscarriage, there's a horrible emptiness, and it's overwhelming. And I think you mentioned that everybody feels alone when they're going through a hard time, and it's true. You do. You feel like you're the only person that's ever miscarried, and no one ever talks about them.
So when you were able to adopt, and sorry, what's it, Skyla?
Skyla.
Skyla. So when you met Skyla, how did it fill a void? I know that's not fair to say, but how did that connect to the miscarriage you had?
I always knew I wanted to be a mom, and she did fill that purpose, but she was so incredible on her own that I could have had 12 kids and she still would have been incredibly important.
What do you tell us about the birth mother?
I don't know much about her, and I probably could find her name in our
So
paperwork.
I don't know much about
I don't know much about her birth mother, but I do know that she said she suffered from depression and that she had had 2 abortions before Skyla. And I have no idea what changed her mind and made her carry Skyla all the way for 35 weeks. But we're so grateful, and Skyla's grateful. And I think someday the world will be grateful, because I think Skyla's meant for great things. But I know that back to the birth mom, I know that she suffered from depression, that she was not married. And my understanding of it, which could be wrong, was that in Taiwan, she had to stand up in the court and say, "I'm too depressed and I'm unable to take care of my own child." And which I can't imagine being anything but shaming, but she still did it. So.
To have an abortion, you have to.
No, to adopt, to give away your child, you have to stand up in front of the judge and say, "I can't take care of her." Yeah, and I just think, wow, she must have had an overwhelming love too. Of Skyla.
If you could say something to the birth mother right now,
I mean, thank you, if I could see the birth mother right now, I thank you would be the obvious thing, but the words don't go deep enough. I think that I would show her Skyla and help her to see that her choice was a huge, huge blessing, that crisis pregnancy could turn into a miracle.
What would you want the birth mother to know about Skyla?
I would want the birth mother to know everything about Skyla, the good, the bad, the sleepless nights, Skyla's resiliency, her beauty, her love of everything, her curiosity. There's just nothing I wouldn't want her to know. She's amazing.
I asked this question because I bet people who are thinking about putting their kid up for adoption would think that no one else could love this baby because it's not theirs. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do. I'm not sure how to repeat that question.
Yeah, so that's the background to it. So how do I word this? Like,
What if I just...
How are you able to love someone else's baby?
I think you're able to love someone else's baby in the sense of a good friend of mine, a very wise woman, told me that at 3 o'clock in the morning, when they're throwing up on you and you're changing diapers, it doesn't matter where the baby came from. It just matters that she or he is yours. And I think that there is some truth in that, but I also think that once you commit yourself fully to raising a life, it doesn't matter where they came from. It matters that they're yours. And Skyla imitates me, and I tell my friends, if I had known that she was going to copy me so completely, I would have been a better person. She is just a little mini me.
Could you imagine the birth mother going through the pregnancy knowing that she was going to give Skyla up for adoption? What do you think the birth mother felt like throughout that process?
I actually can't imagine what a birth mother would feel like carrying a child for someone else. But I think that it's an amazing gift, and it's much better than the alternative or the emptiness of ending a life rather than carrying it and blessing someone else. I'm hoping that doing a video like this and having more adoptive moms talk about it, they can see that somebody else can love their child and provide for their child and raise their child in as best of an environment as they can.
Do you think a mom is thinking about it? What do you think the fear is of you're doing amazing. What do you think the fear is of a mom who's going to give their baby up for adoption? What fear do you think they have?
I think if a mom were going to carry a baby all the way through to adoption, I know in Taiwan, there's a lot of stigma to it. So I'd imagine in America, there's still a lot of stigma. You're alone, you're pregnant, I don't know about your finances, so I can't imagine a fear you wouldn't have. I mean, it's all of the fears we have as adults and plus a new baby, and no payoff other than knowing you did the right thing and that someone else is going to bless them and raise them.
How often do you think of the birth mom?
You know, obviously because I gotta start over, right?
Yep.
I used to think of the birth mom every day, and before we adopted Skyla, but we knew of her, she was definitely my thoughts and my prayers in my heart. And the orphanage was amazing because they would call and give us updates, and they would tell us how the birth mom was doing. And so even after we had Skyla the first few years, I thought about her, and I just had overwhelming gratitude to her, because you can't put it in words. Like, our words are too small to talk about how great that is. I mean, it's life. So nowadays I don't think of her as much because Skyla is so much mine, and that's just sort of her past. But
can you see how someone would want to have an abortion?
No, but I can see he's coming really close with the camera. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Yeah, I can see how someone would want an abortion. I think it's a start over button. I can't say that I wouldn't have done it if I were a teenager either, or even single. I can see where that's the viable option. I understand. I have a friend who works for Child Protective Services, and she firmly believes that some kids suffer so much in this life that they would have been better off not being born. And although I hear those words, I just don't agree with that, because I think all life is sacred. And having had having tried and not succeeded in carrying a child full term, I understand the miracle of that. And I think that you take life seriously and with a great responsibility.